everybody came back. No. There's one missing over there. Thank you so much for being here. You have no idea how proud I am of this group. This group kind of is organized chaos. I guess it's, 2 years in the planning, and then it sprang from the head of Zeus. Last year about this time I needed to put together a 100-voice choir for the City Ballet's production of Carmina Burana. And I was about a month late in getting that started. And the conductor of the City Ballet is a real taskmaster. He's standing right there. And so he kept asking me, so do we have a choir? I said, yeah, we're fine. So I finally decided to go to Facebook. And I put out the word that I needed 100 singers, and within 4 days I had 50. In another 4 days I had 110. And a lot of these people were a part of that. How many of you were a part of that choir? And then Judy asked me to lead the library singers, and then we built from there. We are still building. We want you. We rehearse Saturday mornings from 9:30 until 11:30. The first Saturday of the month we rehearse right here at Central Library in the auditorium across from the entrance. And on the other 3 Saturdays we rehearse at the beautiful Logan Heights Library. There are no auditions. There are no fees. We want you to come and sing with us. We have a wonderful time. And this being our first concert, I thought, most people like Broadway music, don't they? And I think we picked some good songs here. I want to introduce one of our board members. She's going to talk to you a little about those envelopes that you got with your programs. I want to introduce our treasurer, Charlene Peters.
Thanks, Jim. There's always has to be someone who talks about how things are funded. We are so lucky that we are a public library program. And you're going to hear from Misty in a few minutes, but it's just fabulous that we can be a library program. The way we are funded is through the San Diego Public Library Foundation. And the envelopes that you were given when you came in are to support this program, kinds of programs that the foundation funds. As you see, we don't charge. Jim mentions you don't have to pay to sing, you don't have to pay for your music, so we just need support to the Public Library Foundation in order to make this program work. So thank you all for coming, it's really wonderful. There's a basket over on the table if you'd like to leave an envelope there, or you'll see it's all set to be mailed into the Public Library Foundation. So thanks very much.
Now I would like to introduce Bianca Lundin Kennedy, one of our board members, and she's going to introduce our board of directors.
Hello. So happy all of you are here today. And I just wanted to give homage to our fantastic board of directors, without which we wouldn't be where we are. They've put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and time, and we've come out with this amazing choir. So everybody on the board of directors, could you kindly raise your hand? Great, thank you. We thank each of you. And I'd also like to introduce our president, and that would be Miss Judy Eby, who is the reason we're here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited about this day. I have to tell you, though, that we're not the only library choir in the world. There's one more. And the director of that library choir is Sarah Suhonen, who's sitting there with her little daughter. And that library choir started 10 years ago at Point Loma Library. It's called Peninsula Singers. And we have a wonderful, wonderful time on Monday nights. And we formed such a bond and a community. There's people here today from the choir, like Gary Ewing, who's been president of the board. And so that library choir got started 10 years ago. And then when we saw this new building going up, we said, aha, let's try it again. And we started in negotiations and discussions with library personnel about 2 years ago. And we're so grateful to have our support from this library. I'm going to introduce Misty Jones, the head librarian or deputy director of the library system and head librarian of this library in just 1 minute, but I want to also tell you one more thing about our music. What you hear is music that has been arranged for 4 different voices and piano by Jim Tompkins-MacLaine. It's because of his arrangements that we sound so fresh and energized, and we have such, you know, really exciting solos going on and how they're balanced and all. So we're just very, very proud of our director, Jim. And now I'd like to introduce Misty Jones, the Deputy Director of the San Diego Library.
You have to adjust all the time. So thank you all for being here today. I am incredibly excited that this is going on and excited to see all of you here. As Judy said, it has been a long time in the planning, and it's so nice to finally see it and to see all of you here and to hear this wonderful music. I mean, what a way to spend a Sunday afternoon. And I just want to say that I know that you've all heard these news stories about the dome singing. Well, indeed it does. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Misty. Yeah, this choir is made up of all people from all walks of life. We've got some professional singers in here. We've got some people who've never sung in a choir before in here. But we got one lady in here who has been a friend of mine for about 25 years. And she made a name for herself in New York back in the 60s. How many of you are familiar with the show Cabaret? Yeah. Okay, everybody. All right. In the show Cabaret, there's a song called Two Ladies. And one of the two ladies from that production sings in this choir. From the original cast of Cabaret, we have Mary Vaughn. And she's going to solo on our next little medley, Willkommen and Cabaret.
Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. Fremde, étranger, stranger. Glücklich zu sehen, je suis enchanté. Happy to see you, bleibe, reste, stay. Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. In cabaret, oh cabaret, to cabaret. Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. Fremde, étranger, stranger. Glücklich zu sehen, je suis enchanté. Happy to see you, bleibe, reste, stay. Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. In cabaret, oh cabaret, to cabaret. Sitting alone in your room, come hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, oh charm. Come to the cabaret. Put down your knitting, your book and your broom. Come for a holiday. Life is a cabaret. chum, come to the cabaret. Come taste the wine, come hear the band, come blow your horn, start celebrating. Right this way, your table's waiting. Some beauty, some profit of dew, to wipe every smile away. Life is a cabaret, oh chum. Come to the cabaret. I used to have a girlfriend known as Elsie, with whom I shared 4 sordid rooms in Chelsea. She wasn't what you'd call a blushing flower. As a matter of fact, she rented by the hour. The day she died, the neighbors came to snicker. Oh, and that's what comes with too much pills and liquor. But when I saw her laid out like a queen, she was the happiest corpse I'd ever seen. I think of Elsie to this very day. I remember how she turned to me and said, what good is sitting alone in your room? Come here, the music play. Life is a cabaret, oh chum. Come to the cabaret. Put down the knitting, the book and the broom. Time for a holiday. Life is a cabaret, oh chum. Come to the cabaret. And as for me, I made my mind up back in Chelsea. When I go, I'm going like Elsie. And knitting some profitable tune. Isn't that long a stay? Life is a cabaret, oh chum. Only a cabaret, oh chum. And I love a
Thank you, Mary. I wanted her to do that for years. You might have guessed I have a cold. The next show means a lot to me. When I was a senior in college, I was doing the show Brigadoon at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. And yes, Ohio. We were there first. And a gentleman came up to me after our closing night in the green room and said, how would you like to play Charlie in the national tour of Brigadoon? I said, oh, I'd love to. Completely blew the guy off. Thought he was joking. Well, he called my dorm room the next day to tell me he was serious. And so I had to decide whether I was going to stay in school. I was graduating in 2 months. Or if I was going to go off and make $1,800 a week doing what I wanted to do all my life. So I called my mom and she goes, go on tour. You can finish your degree later. And I did, 28 years later. But doing Brigadoon changed my life in many ways. It's a beautiful show by Lerner and Lowe. I know some of you know the Sid Charisse, Gene Kelly movie version of it. But in 1979, they did a revival on Broadway. That was the tour that I did. It was just the most beautiful production I've ever seen. So when I was picking Broadway music for this show, Brigadoon had to be in there. We have a lot of soloists in this piece, and I hope you enjoy selections from Brigadoon.
McGregor, McKenna, McGowan, McGraw, McBiddy, McNeil, and McRae. All of the folk in the village were there at my mother's wedding day. Papa had asked his friend McBee, and Mac had come with May McGee, and May invited 93 to my mother's wedding day. Then up the road came Ed McGee with half the town of Aberdeen. Everyone was on the scene at my mother's wedding day. At 4:45 everybody was there, waiting around in the room. McVicker, McDougal, McDuffin, McCoy, everybody but the groom. And as the hours turned by, the men got feeling kind of dry and thought they'd take a nip around while waiting for the groom. And while the men were dipping in, the ladies started on the gin. And soon the room began to spin at her mother's wedding day. Then all of a sudden the liquor was gone, the gin and the whiskey and all. And all of a sudden the wedding affair had become a bonny brawl. For Pete McGraw and Joe McVie began to fight for May McGee, while May McGee and John McGee were wooing in the hall. So cold and stiff with John McVeigh, they used him for to serve a tray. For everyone was blithe and gay at their mother's wedding day. McDuff and McVitie were playing a game and using McCoy for the ball. McKenna was eating the bridal bouquet and McNeil hung on the wall. Then finally me father came, his eyes were red, his nose aflame. He did not even know his name, he was drunkest of them all. The people were lying all over the room, all looking as if they were dead. Then mother uncovered the minister quick and she told him, go ahead. So Pa kneeled down on Bill McRae, my mother kneeled on Chuck McKay. The preacher stood on John McRae, and that's how my mom was wed. It was a sight beyond compare. I ought to know when I was there. There never was a day as fair as a mother's wedding day.
something very shameful has happened in San Diego this week. After 49 years, the San Diego Opera is closing its doors. So we're gonna, this again is part of the Beyond part of the concert. We'd like to dedicate this opera chorus to the San Diego opera choristers, all the people that worked and slaved so hard in the chorus, slaved literally. This is the chorus of Hebrew slaves from Verdi's Nabucco. Before we do our last piece, oh, all. I see some of my choir kids. I have the best teaching job in the world. I teach 2 floors down. There's a charter high school, E3 Civic High, here in the library on the 6th and 7th floor, and I'm the performing arts teacher, and it's the best school. But I've got some of my students over here. Come on back here and sit down. Come on, don't watch it from the side. Before we do our last selection, I need to thank some people. You'll notice on your program there are 2 accompanists listed, Rodney Girvin and Laura Williams. Well, Laura's out on pregnancy leave right now. She's going to be having a baby within the month. But I still need to publicly thank her for all the work she put in, and to publicly thank her for sending us Rodney Girvin, our amazing accompanist. Good accompanists are hard to find. Am I right, Betsy? Yeah, good accompanists are rare, and we're so happy. Thank you, Rodney. I also want to thank Judy Eby, who founded this choir and who keeps us, she is our glue. She really is, so I want to thank Judy. Of course, I want to thank Misty and the staff of this library who just bends over backwards for us. Thank you so much. I also want to thank Bruce, our sound guy. He's Bruce Trites, he's right there. And most importantly, I want to thank every one of these people that come out to sing with us on Saturday mornings. I love you all. I really do. I think we have a good thing going here. And it'll only get better if you come and join us. Our next selection, our final selection, is just about every show that Richard Rodgers wrote. There's one glaring omission. If you can tell me what that is, if you figure out which show I left out, I'll give you $1. But this is Richard Rodgers, both with Lawrence Hart as lyricist and with Oscar Hammerstein. And the medley is called The Sweetest Sounds, the Music of Richard Rodgers. Lots of soloists.
got sunlight on the sand, we got moonlight on the sea, we got mangoes and bananas we can pick right off a tree. We got volleyball and ping pong and a lot of dandy games. What ain't we got? We ain't got games.
We got nothing to put on a clean white suit for. What we need is what there ain't no substitute for.
There's nothing like a day, nothing in the world. There is nothing you can name that is anything like a day. There are no books like a day, and nothing looks like a day. There are no drinks like a day, and nothing thinks like a day. Nothing acts like a day, or attracts like a day. There ain't a thing that's wrong with any man here that can't be cured by putting him near a girly, womanly, female, feminine man.
My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak?